Most civilized people are out of touch with reality because they confuse the world with the world as they think about it, and talk about it, and describe it. Reality itself is not a concept. Reality is
Hello? It's me. Hello, you beautiful heads in all sorts of crazy tales. You're tuned into Heads and Tails, and you're watching the very new segment of the show called Tuesdays with Fatih. Perfect. So far, I've shared 3 episodes of my conversations with people, mainly in Turkish, so I apologize for my English-speaking audience for being slow to upload English episodes. But if you're not, they're coming, they're on the way. So let's talk about this new segment of the show. On Tuesdays, I'll be sharing with you what's going on in my mind for that week. Okay? So you can expect to hear some philosophical pontifications, some societal seeings, some wonderful wandering stories, and gospels about the digital Renaissance era that we're living in as we speak. Let's talk a little bit about why I chose Tuesdays with Fatih. I mean, it's pretty clear. It's just me. I'm not talking to anyone. It's just my thoughts. But also a book that was recommended to me a couple years back kind of gave me the idea to make this segment of the show. So the book's name is called Tuesdays with Morrie, and it is the story of Mitch Albom, the author, and his transformative journey through his weekly meetings with his dying professor in college. So they have these deep conversations. Morrie, the professor, kind of gives information, wisdom about love, about family, about forgiveness, relationships, and pursuing a meaningful life, right? There's some quotes that I would like you to hear. Death ends a life and not a relationship. So many people walk with a meaningless life. They seem half asleep, even when they're busy doing things they think are important. It's because they're chasing the wrong things. The way you get meaning into your life is to devote yourself to loving others. Devote yourself to the community around you, and devote yourself to creating something that gives you purpose and meaning. Accept who you are and revel in it is another quote. But my personal favorite is this one. Truth is, once you learn how to die, you learn how to live. So the relationship that they have, the professor and the student, sounds satisfying for them, but the authors attempt to give us enlightenment and make us understand the world better, transforms the book into this Christmas card, like a Hallmark card, the ones that you get on holidays, but on steroids. It says the true meaning of life is that love conquers all. It's a very noble statement, don't get me wrong, but I kind of feel like it takes more than love in life. Just love conquers all isn't more satisfying than, life is just meh and then you die. Talking about death. Death scares the shit out of a lot of people. It used to scare me as well. And the reason is probably because we don't know what happens. No one really knows what happens after death, right? There might be an eternal portal to heaven or hell, or who knows what it is. So it was my brother's birthday last week. And a month ago, end of November, when I started posting my episodes, was my birthday. This made me think about life a lot. And life doesn't make sense if there is no death, is the conclusion that I came to. But let's put Fatih aside. Let's look at some other people who've thought about life and death way more than Fatih has. One of my favorite philosophers, Albert Camus, tackled this. He thought about this a lot. He read and wrote way more than I did. So let's take a look at what he says. So I'll read this one excerpt from his book, A Happy Death. Should I kill myself or have a cup of coffee? But in the end, one needs more courage to live than to kill himself. So to me, essentially what he's saying is that living is the more difficult option between the two. So to survive at times insufferable diseases, health conditions, relationships, and life in general, we must have a well-centered physique and body and psyche. What Camus calls as courage. The courage to show up at the gym regularly, the courage to face your fears, the courage to be open, the courage to listen, the courage to change your mind. The game of life should only be played if the game is worth it, right? And if you're watching this, I mean, good for you. You're alive, and you've mustered enough of strength and will to live and have the courage to continue. But maybe you're thinking, I'm happy with my life, but I sure would appreciate if I was even more fulfilled and even what is the meaning of my life. So let's read another quote. He says, "You will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of," right? So you'll never live if you are looking for the meaning of life. I was talking to a lot of people, and what I've observed in the past few weeks is that as time passes in life, as people mature, as people grow, they slowly let go of the search for meaning in their life, right? And they either make peace with the meaninglessness of it all, or they subscribe to a religion or a method to sort of, be happy with where they're at, or to achieve their, ultimate human potential, or they find an interest or a craft that gives them fulfillment, that aligns them with who they are. And I'm starting to think that this whole meaning of life thing is not something to be discovered at all. It's more as if any given second in life is very precious. It's extremely precious. Every given second of life is extremely precious. It really is. Everyone says time is the most valuable thing. So I think that's exactly what Camus is trying to tell us. He's talking about living instead of looking for the meaning of living, right? So those are different things. It's just like talking about doing the thing isn't doing the thing. It's the same thing. You can consciously guide the story, and with your will, as you watch the tale of your life weave itself and enjoy each strand as it falls perfectly in place, better than you could ever imagined, planned, or expected.